everyone, and welcome back to The Starving Artist. Today, our guest is Joann Mariahazy. Did I say that right?
You said it right.
Two in a row. my last person I didn't ask before I started recording, and I got it right. Thank goodness.
It's like she practiced, but she didn't. Well, she maybe did, but not by me.
I did not practice. I was guessing, and I was right. Thank. We're going to talk about what kind of art Joann does and what she does for the community. So Joann, could you just start out by telling us a little bit about yourself?
I am an artist, even though I do database mapping, scrubbing, migrating, and I do artwork. I can figure out what's wrong in a database when I'm in the studio, but when I'm in a database, I don't think about my artwork. So there's that. You can tell which side of your brain is freer, I guess, by which side you can be thinking on both sides. So I have been an artist since as long as I can remember. My favorite smell as a child was the crayons in the coffee can. I'm sure I'm not the only one who had broken crayon boxes in the coffee can, but the smell of coffee and crayons at the same time just will always bring me back to being 5. And I still use crayons sometimes. I have gone from being a painter to a printmaker, back to a painter, and now I'm learning how to do a different form of printmaking, and I will always draw. My artwork is not very realistic. It is very more symbolic and free flowing, not basically abstract, but if I have to explain a piece to you, it's not for you. Okay, I know that
That's a fair thing. I think that's fair.
Fallon had asked me about I have a lot of trees in my artwork, and I like to think of trees as, things that are growing. We're always trying to grow. Geometric shapes as like lines keeping us on kilter. The horizon is very important to me because I don't like living on an angle. I also have a lot of vessels in my imagery. A vessel to me is my human. So the old, I shouldn't say it's old, the saying that you cannot pour from an empty vessel is proof that you have to take care of yourself. You have to fill yourself so that you can help other people. You can't pour from an empty vessel. I tell my granddaughters and my daughter-in-laws and my daughter this all the time. We have to take care of ourselves, otherwise we're no good. We're somebody who has to be taken care of. That is not my goal in life. I want to be able to help other people. And then for a long time when I was at university, my quest was to prove that our hearts know, our brains think, and our guts make us act. So I have a lot of prints from class that are heart shapes that look like brain material, and just trying to help people understand that when you want to do something, if you have to think it through too hard and your gut and your heart is still like, yeah, just put it off for a while. If it's right, it'll come back. So that's a little bit about my art.
Okay. Before I get into some more questions, I just want to highlight that we're having coffee from Row Cafe today. I've never tried it before, and I heard this is orgasmic.
So. No, just make that face. It's Hugh, the owner. It's his favorite. It's salted cream, and I know she's got the iced one. I got the hot one, so I have to drink it slow. They also have coffee cookies there, which they didn't have any of, but that's okay because I can eat like one a week.
So today we're not eating, we're just drinking. It's
Yeah.
It's really hot out anyway, so I don't know if I'm hungry.
I'm telling Okay, enough of that. So family friendly.
Yeah. So with the crayons, how did that memory like get you into painting? I know every kid loves crayons, right? But like eventually, not everyone branches off into painting, but some people do.
Crayons are slow.
Yeah.
They're labor intensive.
Okay.
Painting can be very physical. If you're working on a big canvas, you can take your brush and make big swoops. And if you're working on a small thing, you can do little bitty. I like both. Normally, the larger pieces are. I don't do many of those because I work out of my house and that's just a lot of room. But I've also found that with drawing, if you draw with charcoal and then use turpentine. I'm saying all these things. These are old school, okay? You
Okay.
use turpentine. You put the charcoal on the paper and you dip your brush in turpentine. It turns it into the coolest black paint. Well, you have to be really careful because the turpentine will eke out onto the paper and get shadows, but it really does melt your charcoal, so that's cool. That's another form of painting. But yeah, I think that for me, painting is, it's just, I don't want to say easier because it takes less talent. It's easier because you cover more in a shorter period of time. When you're coloring with crayons, it's a lot of and then you get those little white marks and you have to buff them out. Trust me, I buff out my crayons, my colored pencils. I do a lot of colored pencil work, and you have to burnish it. So it's physical. My hashtag is, it's called artwork for a reason. It's not that always that easy, but yeah. I am not a 3D person.
No.
I tried once to make jewelry, and I'm going to admit this now because I have my degree, but and I highly doubt that my metals teacher will watch this unless I send it to her, but I did pay off somebody to make a bead for me in metals class because I melted like 4 of them, and this kid was standing there, and I'm like, is this easy for you? And he's like, yeah, and I had an unopened can of soda. I'm like, here you go. So, yes.
Trading, I love it.
I bartered out. But my one of my friends and co-founder of Makers Together is a jewelry artist, and she made this.
It's gorgeous. I was looking at it.
Yeah.
I really like
So
it.
I will talk more about her in a little bit. But we laugh all the time because she works with these little itty bitty things, and I'm like, they'd be all over the floor at my house. And she doesn't work with things that you can pick up with a magnet, so it would be lost. Just lost. Yeah.
Well, and what or who inspired you to get into the painting aspect?
I would say art classes in
Art
high
classes.
school. Yeah. In high school, I am a very intelligent person, and I did not apply myself in those biology. I got to as high as I had to in math.
Preaching to the choir.
Well, and it's not that I don't get it. It's just that I didn't see a lot of reason to do it. Anyways, there's reason to do math, and if you're good at math, do it. And I'm not saying don't do it, and I'm not saying that you can say it's hard or whatever. I found little interest in it. So I focused on art classes, and I was introduced to painting by a woman who, Mrs. Heike, I will never forget her, and she's the one who told me to really look at the snow. It's blue, it's not white, okay, so that makes a difference. Then all of a sudden it's real in your painting, and it really taught me a way to look at things. And in high school, we were given the Zen as an Art of Seeing book. Have you ever read it? It's an old book, but it's all drawings and about how you really look at things. Okay, so right now when I look at you, I'm like posterizing your face with the shadow of your nose and that, because that's how, if I were to draw you, that's what I would
Okay.
need to do to make you look real, right?
Oh,
You see
cool.
the shadow here?
Yeah.
Now you do.
Yeah.
Did you before?
No,
'Cause
I
it-
don't draw those.
Because it didn't make any difference, right? But in film, you're still worried about lighting.
Yep,
and-
absolutely.
So, but yeah, they sent one of my paintings to Illinois Wesleyan University in Bloomington, Illinois, and I got a free ride. I did not know what that meant.
No?
I was not invited back the second year. Yeah. So if you're ever given free college, take it and listen to the adults in the room because they know better than you. And yeah, so I went back to college in my late 40s. I graduated 9 years ago. I just got the thing the other day, my Facebook memory telling me 9 years ago, with a BFA and a minor in arts history from UW Oshkosh. And when I had most of my classes were all done because I did my associate's degree at UW Fox when it was still there. Okay, great school. I miss it, but it's no longer. But I got my associate's degree from there, and then I kept taking all the classes I needed to take to get a bachelor's there. And the teachers would upgrade my curriculum so that I was fulfilling 300 level classes instead of just 200 level classes. Okay, they really did work really, and it's a horrible thing that it's not part of the system anymore, but so by the time I got to UW Oshkosh, I had to retake an English class because even though I tested out of English, because I did the English placement test as like a 48-year-old and I know how to use commas and stuff, I still had to take it because you had to have 6 credits in English. So that was the only class I had to take that wasn't an art class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it?
My English class,
Yeah.
I took it over the summer. It was a writing class, literature and writing. And
Okay.
it was 3 weeks, 6 weeks, a semester in 6 weeks. And the final paper that I had to write, that you have like, it could get a week, right? Your final
Yeah.
half of the semester is 1 week. And it was on the Magdalene laundries. So if you ever want to read something really sad, Joni Mitchell wrote a song about it, and it's the story of the nunnery in, I'm not even going to go into it anyways, just Google it. It's Magdalene,
Goodreads, Storygraph.
Magdalene, like Mary Magdalene laundries. And it's horrible, but I read article after article after article about her writing a song, and the song was the basis for my final paper, and I aced it. So there's my 3 credits, woohoo! And I was depressed, but that's okay. I got it was a summer.
So, in UWO art program, how did that set you up for success, or did it help you in any way?
I wanted to be, okay, so when I was a small child, I wanted to be an architect.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be great for somebody who is a creative person who can do database stuff? I got the logistics. But my mom told me, she's dead, so she'll never hear me say this, that girls aren't architects. No, they're not. Women are. So if that's what you want to do, go to school and become an architect. Hello, 5-year-old girls are not architects, but
Maybe
I
like
could have gone to school
Barbie
for that.
castle.
I have hoarded graph paper because I still draw house plans. But anyhow, I was like, okay, well then I'm gonna design fabric. I wanted to design the printing, the the floral arrangements and all that, not the woven textiles. That's a different article. But so yeah, the designs on fabric, and I figured out like before I was 10 how to do a repeat, and my mom was like, okay, so this is something that'll really be good for you. And then it didn't happen. But anyhow, when I was applying at UW Oshkosh, they had a textile program. I was like, yes. turned into a metals program. Because
Oh,
the textile
no.
person retired. I applied textile, she retired, I had to take metals. Oh my gosh. Hence the bartered bead, right?
It works.
Because I could not make a bead. Anyhow, when I applied, the person who was the head of the art department, we met because of my advanced age, and we had an interview, and I'm like 6 months younger than her, so it was comical, but was my professor. Lovely, lovely person. I still am friends with her. However, she's like, you know, you can print on fabric. I didn't know she was a printing teacher. This is how she reeled me in. Okay, let's do that then. So I learned how to do printmaking, relief, intaglio, lithography, all of that fun stuff. Printing on fabric is not fun because fabric stretches.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the first color is fine, but if you want the second color to line up, you better be pretty darn good. But I did, the last printing class I took was screen printing, and this is a form of printing that you don't have to think backwards. If you're using words, you can just put the word out there, and it doesn't have to be in reverse image because you're not putting a piece of paper on and pulling it off. You're just pulling across so it goes through, right? And it seems like it would be easier. So that was fun. But the first time I pulled ink across the screen and pulled the screen up and looked at the image on the paper, I looked at her. Her name is Gail Pansky. I looked at her and I'm like, oh my. And she goes, I knew it. I'm gonna be a screen printer. So everything after that was screen printing, and I took it. I mean, I paid as a special student to have access to the full studio. So, and then I was gonna say COVID, and they closed down, and I had to learn how to do things at home. And I can do screen printing from home because it's not caustic or flammable, but the way to clean the screen out is pressure washer, and I have a pressure washer, but in the middle of winter it's really hard to take your screens outside and pressure wash them outside, so that doesn't happen. And so I defaulted to watercolor painting because you can just walk away from it, and if the paint dries, it's okay, just spray it again, use it again, and everything's good. It's not as wasteful as using acrylics if you're not comfortable with how much acrylic paint you're using. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun because I don't know how to watercolor, so I use my watercolors to fill in drawings.
It's fun.
It's horrible. I'm just using watercolors instead of crayons now. I know.
Why not?
But I have, yeah, that's.
So you're still screen printing or not so
I
much
am
anymore?
not screen printing. I mean, I can screen print, but really little things because I have to scrub them out with a brush in my sink. So I cannot, I mean, this time of year, maybe I could take it outside and screen, use the spray pressure washer, but.
Do you miss doing screen print?
I do.
Is that like your favorite of all the artistic
It's
stuff? you do?
magical.
Okay.
I have the paint, the ink you use, you're completely in control of the color. If you want to have a shadow on something, you print, and then you reduce the amount of area that's being printed, and you print again. I have images that have 37 pulls on them. A pull is how many different colors you have. And to have them be in registration and all lined up and not look like you were drunk or when you made it or drunk when you're looking at it. Yeah, it is my favorite. It's detail, detail, detail. And I miss it, but I don't have that kind of booth. I don't have a spray booth, so I can't, yeah.
And then watercolors, are they as exciting for you? Are they exciting enough to keep you going?
I use it as a like a way to keep myself involved with stuff in between projects, bigger projects.
Okay.
So right now, I just took a class up at the Art Garage with Tanya Nelson for jelly plate printing. I have to say it real slow because I say it wrong all the time. And I have everything I need to do it. I just need to clean the studio, top my workspace off so that I can do it.
Can you describe jelly plate?
I will describe it backwards.
Okay.
Because I've only done it in class, and I think I did one thing that was cool. The rest of them were all like, well, don't do that again. Because that's what class is for, right?
Yeah.
So jelly plate is, have you ever had Knox blocks? You know, when you make Jell-O and you put way too much of the clear gelatin into it, and they're like, you can pick them up with your fingers, like finger Jell-O? Have you ever had that?
Have I had finger jello? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not sure about the first thing.
Okay, it's Knox is just normal gelatin. It's
Okay.
unflavored, okay?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
if you, and this is not really how you make the jelly plate, but if you put like a whole bunch of that into your Jell-O, and it would be, you could pick it up and flip it around and put it down, and you put it down and you go to pick it up and it makes that gross sound. Ew. So, but you put acrylic paint down, and in general, if you've ever like painted on glass, I don't know, because you said you don't paint.
I have painted on glass.
Well, so
one time.
you know how you have to do the detail first, and then you fill up the background?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing. And then when you fill up the background, when the last layer goes on, then you put the paper down and you wait for everything to dry, and then you very carefully peel the paper off, and everything comes off of the gelatin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting and it sounds like fun, but there's like every time there's endless ways to make something beautiful, there's just as many endless ways to screw it up. So there you go. I'm in this learning, I'm in the find out part of the ordeal. But yeah, so you'll start seeing things that I have jelly plate printed. I want to say jelly print plated, but that sounds like I'm serving it, right?
Yeah, kind
and
of,
it's not.
yeah.
That's not what's happening. So yeah, but that's next.
Okay. And then, so you said you do watercolors in between projects. Are you also painting with like acrylics or a different medium?
My acrylics right now are being used for jelly plate printing.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. But you also have artwork up at Rude Awakenings, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I have an intaglio piece called Pink Ways, and it's got chincole, which is a French word for I put a piece of tissue paper on top of this before I printed it and glued it down. So it is one of my heartwork pieces. So it is a heart that looks like it's made out of green material, and it's got a piece of pink tissue. It's glued on. Chincole it's glued on in the printing process with wheat powder, not paste, powder. Okay, so you ink up it was lithograph, so you ink up the stone, and then you have to know where everything's going to be. You put the chincole, the pink tissue paper, down where you want it to be, and then on that there's a little bit of powder, and then you put your paper down and you roll it through the press, and when you pull it up, all the ink and the tissue paper, the ink is on the tissue paper, right, because the ink was first, and then the tissue paper, and then the paper. So, and it's about this big, it's framed. And then there's another one that's really fun that was called Abstract Landscape, and it's colored pencil and ink, and it's not, I'm aggressive with my colored pencils.
Okay.
They're very intense, and I really pressed really hard, and I use a hard top
Okay.
so that it's not like sinking through the back of the paper or nothing. You get the real color from the wax of the pencil. And I love shading, so there's shading layer upon layer upon layer of colored pencil.
And if someone wanted to buy them at Brood Awakenings, do you know how much they are
Oh,
offhand?
at Brood Awakenings, no, I don't know how much they are. But Brood Awakenings, there are a bunch of watercolors. There are 2 big screen prints. I have pieces at Mud and Prints. I'm sorry, that's what I thought.
Oh,
So,
that's okay.
but
Mud
yeah,
and Prince is what
yeah.
you were describing.
Right,
That's
right,
where it is.
right.
Okay.
But Brood Awakenings, I'm going tomorrow to pick them up, so you won't know about this. But yeah, there's some watercolors there.
And then I also wanted to ask you about your the pages you sell, the coloring pages. What inspired just pages?
I have coloring books and I don't finish them.
That's it?
I have just a couple of pages
Yeah.
in there. But yeah, the coloring pages are fun. You find out that folks don't really care, so I sell them online, and they're like $1, and
Do they do well?
no,
No?
no, because if you go to Etsy or Pinterest or any place other than my website, they're free. There's free downloads for
Yeah.
this and that, and you know, you can tell they're drawn by machines or whatever. Mine have mistakes in them, or you can tell that the pen, I doubled back on the line or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna correct those because that's me, that's my hand, and you have proof of that. I have, because I'm a big believer in coloring, I have started making cards to color, and they are a lot of the same designs, but smaller. I've shrunk them down so they fit on a greeting card that's half of a, I don't know the size of it, but if you take a piece of not notebook paper, what's it, like copier paper, and fold it in
Mhm.
half, like the front of that has the design, and the inside is blank, so you can do whatever, you can write whatever, and if you don't like to color, you can just send the card to somebody who likes to color, they can color it, that's fine, I don't even care if it never gets colored. But yeah, so I have, those are for sale. I have at the bookstore in Appleton, and I do have a couple of different new designs that I'm going to be bringing there. And then I have found out that when I was in Hawaii on vacation, I was so enamored with the plants and the shadows that they make on each other and on walls and everything, that I had these like postcards, watercolor postcards, and I was just drawing on them and figuring them out and doing all these kinds of symbolic sunrises and mountains that are just triangles. And if you rub the watercolor with cold wax, you can run it under a sink and it doesn't get ruined. So you can mail them. I know. So they have, I have a couple of those at the Art Garage in Green Bay. I have a couple more that I'm getting ready to bring up there, maybe see someplace else in the area that might want to sell some, but they're all one of a kind. I do not ever make copies.
Oh, that's cool.
The only time that ever comes into play is printing the coloring pages or the cards to color on copier paper at my house, not copier paper, but cardstock at my home on my printer or my copier. I don't send anything off to a printer because I don't believe those are prints. I am always telling people, oh, you mean mechanical reproductions, because they're just copies. But anyhow, that's where that came from. I just like to be able to, the cards to color come with envelope and everything. And they're $3.50.
Oh, it's not bad.
No, I know it's
Compared to
not.
like
I'm
most
never gonna
places.
get rich doing
Yeah.
this, but that's not that I'm gonna start. But the one-of-a-kind postcards are a little bit more than that. But yeah.
That's really cool. And then you also founded Makers Together. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, Makers Together. Okay, we were just talking a little bit about imposter syndrome, and I did not have imposter syndrome about Makers Together, so please
That's good.
bear with me. Prior to COVID, my friend Candy and I and another woman who has resigned from our organization, we belong to a women's group in the area, and it was a professional business women's group, and the three of us were artists. And when COVID hit, it was like, okay, well, they can still sell homes, they can still sell insurance, sell homes, all those kinds of things. But for us, the art world, the art shows, and the galleries even just went crashing down. Nothing happened. Everything was like, what do we do now? So we would get together every Friday afternoon and talk about, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And we decided to start a business. And then once the business started, we're like, you know what? We really are teaching people. We're educating people on how to start their businesses, creative people on how to start their businesses. So we took it upon ourselves to become a nonprofit, did not use an attorney, answered a lot of questions, asked a lot of questions, and so if anybody wants to know about how to become a nonprofit, you can just go ahead and ask. I'm more than happy to tell you the downfalls we had. But then we trademarked our name. Makers Together is trademarked, and so did not use an attorney for that. I'm not saying you don't need an attorney. I'm just saying we didn't have money for an attorney, so we did it ourselves. But we meet. We're a member-based organization. We are all volunteers. None of us get paid. All the work that gets done, the organizing the events, the website, the social media marketing, all the banking, all the governance, everything. Everything is done by volunteers. We have members who pay a yearly, I want to say subscription, because that's what our webpage calls it, but really it's a membership fee, it's not a subscription. But anyhow, that's how we can afford to have a web page and afford the different platforms that we have to have, paying for our annual business license or semi-annual business license at the state and all that kind of fun stuff. That's where that money comes from. We have on Tuesday evenings educational events. We have attorneys who have talked to us about the difference between an LLC and sole proprietorship. We have had bookkeepers come. We have had marketers come. We have had advertising people come, and they do these presentations. And we have a person who did body language, you know, how to present yourself better, first on Zoom, because that's what we were dealing with, and then now when you're at a show or you're someplace in person, okay, so that you look confident, that you don't keep stammering, stuttering, and saying like I'm doing. But we have all of these, and they've all been recorded, so when members join, they can go back and look through all of. We have like 45 recorded events in our library. We have a bunch of different kinds of downloads. We have business plan availabilities, a bunch of stuff. We've had SCORE has come and talked to us about stuff that we don't know enough about, so we ask the professionals. And yeah, that's our Tuesday nights, and this is not every Tuesday. So we used to have every Tuesday, and then our membership was like, I didn't ever get a chance to even look at it before you're hitting me with more information. So now we have an event and then a workshop. So the event, and then the next week, you've had a week to try it. Hi.
That was my stuff. I don't know what just happened.
There you
Basement
go.
ghost. Blooper.
Maybe I'm just talking too much about stuff. Anyhow, so yeah, so we have a workshop, and we have quarterly things where we go through our goals, and we have monthly meet and greets, except for November and December because nobody ever comes. At the end of November and the end of December, everybody's busy. But we try to go to where our membership is or where we have people who are interested are. So just last week we were in De Pere. Next month we will be in Greenville. We've been in Oshkosh. We've gone to Oregon and Wisconsin, not the state of. But so yeah, we try to get around. Most of our stuff is done on Zoom. And my favorite, I'm sorry I missed this, on Monday mornings and on Thursday mornings we have virtual co-working. So you can be in your studio working on stuff, and if you can pull Zoom up on your phone or your tablet or your computer, if that's in your studio, you can be in your studio, wherever it is, working on your stuff and not be alone.
That's nice.
It is great. We offer great support. We call the CEOs creativity, education, opportunities, and support. And the opportunities, we offer what we call educational opportunities. Like we're in the farm market in Appleton. And so if you want to do an art fair and you don't know how to interact with people, or you don't know how hard it is to set up a tent or any of that stuff, you can come and help us set up the tent, help us pull down the tent sometimes, and set up the tables and talk to people and get a feel. The only thing that I can't offer is, as a nonprofit, we can't sell anything, so you don't get the working with a point of sale square or something like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we have done, last year we were at the farm market 3 times. This year we'll be there 3 times, August 29th, and then 2 times in September.
And what would you tell people who are considering becoming a member?
Talk to us. We are going to have an open co-working. We just had an open co-working where people who aren't members could join us. We do have open invitations to different things. We have a newsletter that goes out every month, tells you what we did last month, what we're doing next month, where we're meeting for our meet and greet, all that kind of stuff. You can send us emails and you can call us. The application is on our web page, makerstogether.org, and it's become a member. And what you would do is fill out basic information about yourself, but then some pictures of your work so that we can, just become familiar with what you do. And then it takes a couple of days for the team to review everything and talk and come up with questions. And it's not really like an interview process. We just want to make sure that if you're paying us the membership fee, that you're not like, well, why did I give them that membership fee? We want to make sure that we're able to help you, educate you, and support you. So yeah, I really seriously hope I'm not missing anything. I feel like I'm talking a whole bunch more about makers than I talked about my own stuff, but
Was there more you wanted to talk about your own stuff? Is there any questions you feel like I missed for you?
no, I did say that I wanted to, because I'm way older than Fallon. I don't know if I'm the strange bird in the cage here, but I am never, ever, 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 ever going to say we have to do it that way because that's how we've always done it. I may say we have to do it that way because that's how the rules are, and we haven't changed the rules yet. But I'm a firm believer that things will change because and I'm not going to say generation, your level of people joining any aspect of society, be it creative people or whatever everybody does, you're going to have different ideas than I ever would have, and I welcome them. I don't want to be like oh, here comes that old lady again. We have to do it her way. No, tell me what you want to do, and let's see if we can figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Oh, that's cool. Collaboration is so fun.
Yeah.
You collaborate with people ever?
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Yes.
For art or
for different art projects.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Right now, one of our members is a printmaker, and I bought one of her prints, and I'm going to use it. I almost gave away a gift idea. I'm going to use it in a future gift to people that I love really well, and the artist knows about it, but the people who are getting the gift don't know about it yet. But it's going to be cool.
That felt very vague to me, so hopefully.
I was like, a bit. Wait. Stop talking.
Clearly people who will watch this interview.
I told them I'd send it to them. Yes. Oh, and this is what your Christmas present's going to be this year. Sorry.
Well, if they never were like, hey, you said that, then you know they didn't watch it. Yeah. Are you sure there's nothing else? Because I want to make sure you get to talk about everything you want to talk about. I do have one last question if you don't have anything else.
So, social media consistency is definitely a need and one of the hardest things ever. Ever. I have reminders 2 days a week to post something on my social media page. I just dismiss them because I don't have anything, but I know I need to do it.
Yeah.
So I am just admitting right here, right now, I am the do as I say, don't do as I do. I feel as though when I tell folks, it would really be great if you did this, I'm always thinking, it would really be great if I did that too. So I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, I'm putting myself behind the 8 ball.
Social media does so much for people these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the great films that are out right now, the reason they're so big is because they were YouTubers before. So, it's incredible. Well, then my final question for you that I ask everybody is, do you ever feel like giving up?
Yes.
Yes. And how do you pull yourself back from that feeling?
I have 11 grandchildren.
It's a lot.
I wasn't there for any of it. They just kept happening. And I want them to know that I kept doing it. It's that I kept doing it. And
Yeah.
and it's not, sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes you feel like, I'm no good at this. I have a BFA. I'm no good at this. I still feel that way. I honestly feel like my art history degree is one of the best things I did for myself because I can really go back and look at those old masterpieces and they're just, I mean, even just looking at the fabric that these people painted, like on like this close to them. So they didn't do it over a weekend. Those paintings took weeks and months and some of them even years. Nothing was. And the idea of an overnight success, do you know how long it takes you to become an overnight success?
Like 10 years.
It's the longest overnight you've ever had. It snaps fast, but it doesn't, there is no such thing. It's like multitasking. It's a falsity. There's
so much work that people don't see, and you just assume that you did one thing and the next day it's a hit, but then you have all this previous work that nobody has seen. So.
Yeah, I cut mine up into little pieces and make bookmarks out of them, but put my information on the back.
I love that.
I thought I was being real economic or environmentally friendly, okay, not put them in the landfill, and then I realized I was encasing them in plastic, so.
You gotta keep the art safe.
They're forever now. Yeah, but they do work and they're business cards. So I know there are people who sell bookmarks, but I just fling mine to the wind and hope people pick them up.
Most authors just hand bookmarks. I have so many bookmarks from author events.
I can't. They don't want you to flip the corner down on the book, but I just.
I do that.
younger. I always think that's a good place to stop reading. Anyhow, yes, how do I pull myself out of it? I do not believe in generative AI,
Damn right.
and that is for a while there, I thought, nope, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it. And then I started finding out, like you, I'm not alone, okay? To me, the creative process can't be replaced by AI, the journey that you're on. Do you know what Jiffy Pop popcorn is?
Yes.
Okay, yay. So this is my creative process, all right? So you're learning a new technique, and I'm afraid this is gonna happen with jelly baked printing, that you start making the Jiffy Pop and things like, oh, each kernel is like an idea. Okay, 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 okay. You have to keep the foil. Take it off the burner, but don't let that foil burst, because if the foil bursts, your ideas are all over, and you'll never have them all in one place again. So yes, it's a Jiffy Pop popcorn thing. You don't get Jiffy Pop popcorn with AI, with generative AI. You just don't. So
It's mostly just stealing other people's artwork and regurgitating it in a new format because it's all mixed together. It doesn't look great. I have a lot of thoughts.
and I know you and I share a lot of the same thoughts. I promised I wasn't going to talk bad about anything today, but I will talk bad about AI.
Yeah. No, that's the one thing that we definitely can talk bad about as artists.
As artists, yes.
Well, thank you for coming on to The Starving Artist.
Well, thank you. Even though I wasn't hungry, and I kind of feel bad that you bought this for me, but it was
Don't feel
still
bad.
so good.
Don't feel bad, and also it's okay as long as we have something. I also part of it is I wanted to highlight local businesses while we highlight local artists. So it's like a
Yes.
2 for 1, you know. So we got to try Rope Cafe. Well, you've had it. My first time trying it.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Great recommendation.
Yes. So if you don't, and my social media is art by Joann Mariahazy. I'm the only Joann Mariahazy in the world. That's a different story, but it's Maria and Hazy, but all one word and not said that way. All right, that's how you spell it right. But Row Cafe, they have the absolute funnest social media because he is the owner, Hugh is the owner, and the other people who work for him, wife, daughters, other people, I don't know how they're related or if they are related, they're always like TikToking him, literally.
That's so cute. They
Yeah.
weren't doing that when I got her coffees.
And there's one where he's out standing in the back of the field trying to eat lunch, and he's got the sandwich and he's got the hot sauce, and you see him doing this, and you see him biting, and then they come around the side and he's like,
I've got to see this. I'm gonna follow their Instagram after this. I'm excited to see it.
Everybody loves him now. So yeah.
That's exciting. Okay. Well, I'm really glad I could talk to you and get to know you better, and I'm excited to get to know you more in the